Your voice, your opinion, your community. Fact TV, free speech, protected.
Are you sick of looking at Netflix and you don't know what to watch?
So many movies out there, you don't know which ones are good, which ones were bad.
You curious about what's out there?
I'm Joey Powers.
I'm Don Trettler.
This is The Best Pictures.
The ones you don't want to miss.
Get it. Say hello to my little friend.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Winners go home and prom queen.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
I don't deserve this. Deserves got nothing to do with it. No sequel for you.
Hi, and welcome to another edition of The Best Pictures. I'm one of your hosts, Joey Powers.
Hey, and I'm Don Trettler. Welcome to the show. And today we're going to talk about a couple of the movies. We actually saw two movies this week.
Two new movies this weekend.
Two movies that got released on Friday, what was it, the 7th?
Actually, well, they opened both on Wednesday.
Oh, right.
Because
right.
of the holiday. I don't know, you want to talk about Air? We saw Air first.
Yeah, so we went to see Air, which is a Ben Affleck directed movie.
Right. Stars Matt Damon as Sonny Vaccaro, I think his name was.
Right.
He was in charge of recruiting Michael Jordan to Nike because at the time Nike was like, what, third?
I guess that's what they
it
said.
It was like Adidas first and then, Converse first and then Adidas and then Reebok and Nike were kind of like nobodies.
Right.
And they were the first, I guess like the first sneaker to ever brand a shoe after one specific person. And of all the people, they chose Michael Jordan. And
they gambled right.
Ended up working out all right. I mean, some of the numbers that they showed at the end of that are just mind-blowing, how much money that shoe creates in revenue just for him alone.
Right.
Let alone Nike.
I guess, in looking at that, they were really tried to play up like Nike was like poor or whatever, which I don't believe because I had Nikes in the 70s. So I know that there was, Nike was a big deal, but they weren't a big deal in basketball, I guess.
Right, yeah.
Which I still don't quite, I don't know. I think their numbers may be off that. I think guys were wearing Nikes.
But, I mean, they're certainly the biggest in basketball now. I mean, no question about it. Just by having the Jordans alone. I mean, when he retired 20 years ago, they're still selling Air Jordans every year. It's like the number one shoe, basketball shoe.
I don't think I've had many Nikes, to be honest with you. I mean, over the years, I think I've had plenty of Converse. What was the other brand? Adidas. Never owned. I've never had a pair of Adidas shoes.
I think I'm wearing Adidas right now. Actually.
Yeah,
I am wearing Adidas right now. I've owned all of them. I haven't never really had a lot of Nike. Mostly Reebok for me and Adidas.
Right.
But yeah, no, I just never.
I got turned on to a new shoe. I had been wearing Brooks to go running, but a friend of mine said to me, "Oh, you got to try these Hokas. It's like pillows on your feet." And he wasn't exaggerating.
Yeah.
They were so incredibly comfortable. Maybe it's because they're brand new, but I wouldn't go back. I'm not going to go back to another brand, so I'm a Hoka guy now.
I mean, I thought the cast was really good in the movie.
Yeah.
Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Jason Bateman. We talked about how, what was his name?
Chris Tucker?
Yeah, Marlon Wayans.
Marlon Wayans
is like in it for like one scene. And he's billed as one of like the main stars of the movie, and he's literally just in it for one scene. Chris Tucker, we talked about this in the car afterwards. You could tell he's not really a dramatic actor, just because he just seemed kind of out of place. But the one thing I forgot to mention to you is Chris Messina is David Falk. I never would have pictured him playing a character like that, but I thought he was pretty good as Michael Jordan's agent.
He was. Yeah.
I thought he was very good. Viola Davis played Michael Jordan's mom. And they don't actually show Michael Jordan's character's face. And Ben Affleck said the reason for that was because he's such an iconic figure and such a recognizable figure that he felt that it would do injustice to the part.
And I think that was a good choice.
I do too. I think it was a good idea.
Because then it put the emphasis on the other guys and not on Michael Jordan. If he had been in the movie, we'd have been looking for either Michael Jordan or this Michael Jordan lookalike that they would have
Because the movie wasn't really about Michael Jordan at all. It was about them trying to figure out how they could recruit him and pretty much get his mom on board because she was like the one that they really needed to get on board to get him on board.
Right. This got 7.8. You probably already knew that.
I did know that. Yeah. Yeah, I'd say that's about right. You know, I thought it was really good.
It was real good, real smooth movie.
Yeah, I mean, it.
I don't know if we're going to get it in Bellows Falls here, but
I don't know. I mean, they got champions. So if they got champions coming this weekend, anything's possible. So
that's pretty cool, and that's I'm kind of like, you and I had talked about we were on the verge of going to see that movie,
right? And I ended up having to work.
Right, and we didn't end up seeing it. So this is our chance. It's like it's meant to be.
Yeah, we're going to go see it this weekend.
It didn't get rated very high. I mean, we can look it up, but I don't think it got.
I don't think it's great, and it's not. The thing is, it hasn't made a ton of money. That's really why I'm surprised that BF got it. I don't know if they're like in between right now because Urinetown maybe threw some of the other big budgets off.
Right.
So
I think they're going to get Mario.
They're definitely.
You said
they're getting it the week of the 28th.
Okay.
So they'll have it like the 28th or the 1st or whatever that weekend is. Because I'm planning on going and seeing it again. I definitely enjoyed it. But yeah, no, I think 7.8 was definitely in line for Air. I thought that was really good. It's in line with a lot of Ben Affleck directed movies. I think Gone Baby Gone's his highest at 7.9. But like, I think Argo's 7.6, The Town's 7.5.
That's a pretty good. I mean, it's not a huge body of work, but it's a good, solid.
Yeah,
body
no,
of
it's
work.
definitely solid. Yeah, I mean, he did. What is it? Live by Night. That was his one kind.
Yeah, which you lent it to me.
Not necessarily a flop, but 6.4 on IMDb, so it's still above the Mendoza line.
Yeah,
but definitely the lesser of the movies he's directed, I think, without question.
Right. I can't put I can't tell you what's wrong with the movie, but
yeah, it wasn't bad.
It wasn't a great movie.
I just feel like expectations, or especially from Warner Brothers, were really high.
Yeah.
Because that was like his baby. He wrote it, he directed it, he produced it, he starred in it, he did everything. And they just didn't market it right when it was released, I mean, they had it open on like Christmas Day in like 4 cities, and then they waited like 2 or 3 weeks before they opened it nationally. And by then, I think people just lost interest.
Yeah.
And maybe bad word of mouth from the 4 cities that people saw it, and I don't know. I mean,
I think nowadays, to be honest, like right now, if I were the head of a studio, I would have a hard time bankrolling a gangster movie because there have been so many good ones, and you really have to hold up. Like we talked about one last week. The one with Jack Nicholson, written by Dennis Lehane.
Oh, The Departed.
The Departed,
yeah.
Exactly. Which was actually, I said that was a Dennis Lehane movie, but wasn't that also, they made a Japanese movie?
Yeah, that's a remake of a Japanese movie that came out in like 2002, I want to say. I think it was Infernal Affairs.
Yeah, that's it.
I haven't seen it because obviously I won't watch a movie that's in subtitles.
Right.
But I heard it's excellent,
So, I mean, that's a hard, to try to match something like that, or Goodfellas, or Godfather.
Yeah.
I mean, to make a gangster movie, I mean, you got to have something special going on now that's going to like kind of get up to the level of those movies. So why don't you tell us how did you see how did the movies do? Did you look them up?
I did. Well, Mario blew away the competition by far. I mean, in the 3 weekends, just Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it made 146.3. For the 5-day opening, it was 204.6. And it made almost $21 million yesterday on a Monday. So, I mean, it's 6-day total is like $224 million.
Right.
So, I mean, I think it's exceeded expectations. I mean, everybody knew it was going to be big because it's Mario. But, I mean, I don't think they expected it to be this big.
It's kind of amazing.
I think Air ended up with like $20 million over the weekend. No, I think it was 15 over the weekend, and the 5-day was like 20.1.
Right.
And then John Wick was up there like 14.7. Just holdovers after that. But why don't we? What did you think of Mario?
I thought Mario was okay. It was pretty entertaining. We saw it in 3D, which made it even more exciting.
No, it was fun. It was really fun. I mean, I was telling Alex before the show that, like, until like 10 minutes before the movie started, we were the only 2 in the theater. I was like, what's going on? I mean, this is Mario. Where are all the kids? And then finally some kids piled in and stuff. But it was a madhouse when we went and saw Air Saturday night. I mean, the theater was a nightmare. It was completely packed. You waited like almost 15 minutes to get a couple of waters and a popcorn in line at the concessions. And they weren't there to see Air.
What'd I do? I brought your water too. This was the Claremont water that cost
was $4.
us $4.
$4 for a bottle of water. And I took 2 sips.
And I gave you. Give me that one. That's my water. But I had this in my car, and I was like, hey, I better give that back to you before it goes to waste.
$4, yeah.
So,
But no,
yeah.
I mean, I thought it was a lot of fun. I guess we talked to was that the owner's son in
Yeah.
Springfield? Okay, that was his younger son, right?
Yep.
We talked to him for probably 10 minutes before the movie, and they got slammed on Friday and Saturday with Mario. So he was kind of a little relieved that it wasn't packed for the earlier showing.
Yeah. I don't think he was expecting it. He wasn't expecting the big crowds for Mario.
I don't think people expected it to be that bad, that fast. I mean, it was just Keene was an absolute madhouse.
Well, you played the game.
I tried playing the game when I got home. It's still not working. I went online. I might have to order a new one. They want $123 for on Amazon for the new Mario Wii game.
So how'd the movie compare? I mean, I noticed that
It was like playing an hour and a half video game. I mean, that's essentially what it was. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't know. The brothers were great. The characters were they were awesome. You know, I mean, it was just, I don't know. It was a lot of fun. It was definitely more than what I expected. Because, you know, when we were talking to the owner's son, you know, we asked him about it, and he said, you know, it's Mario. You know, people are complaining about the plot, and it's like, it's Mario Brothers. What do you expect? It's going to be about the game, you know? I mean,
Right.
What else would it be about? But it was. It's like towards the end, you know, when they're doing their thing at the end, they're literally like playing, you know, they're playing the game, you know?
Right.
And it was a lot of fun.
they're going up steps, they're jumping from platform to platform.
They're
I mean,
hitting it, getting the mushroom and getting bigger and stuff like that,
Right.
you know? So, no. it was-
riding the carts, the Mario
Yeah,
carts. and
that
everything.
part was really, really cool. But no, it was a lot of fun. I definitely am going to see it again when it comes to Bell Souls. It was definitely worth it. And yeah, no, I don't think the studio really expected it to be this big. So, but the 3D element I thought was fun. I haven't seen a movie in 3D in a long time.
Well, you know what's hard is I don't know. I don't watch television, so I don't know how well they promoted it. I must have seen commercials for Super Mario.
I don't remember actually seeing any previews for
Yeah.
it.
Well, maybe that's why
I've been
they're
watching a lot of DVDs too, though.
maybe they're advertising it to kids. So maybe they're putting it on TV shows or hooking it up to stuff that we're not going
That
to see.
we're not watching. Yeah, that very well could be.
Right. So coming up this weekend, they have they put it even higher. The Pope's Exorcist with Russell Crowe. Now I think we've said I haven't seen Russell Crowe in a while. He's played kind of supporting roles or co-lead roles with people. He did a movie about something about his son. His son had mental illness or something. I don't know. I didn't see it. It wasn't a big, huge hit. But really, he's kind of dropped. He was like the actor.
He was
for a while.
huge, yeah, for a long time. I mean, he was nominated for Best Actor for an Academy Award 3 years in a row.
Right.
You know, which doesn't necessarily happen.
And he's still a good actor.
Yeah, no, definitely.
And this movie says it's a horror thriller. So, I mean, that sounds kind of exciting. It's a horror thriller, and it's going to have Russell Crowe. in
Sounds
it.
like he's looking for work. That doesn't,
Yeah.
To me, that's something that, like, when he was Clark Kent's dad,
Yeah.
and was he Clark Kent's dad or Superman? I don't remember which. I think he was Superman's dad. And then Kevin
Yeah, he was
Kevin
Jor-El.
Costner plays Clark Kent's dad on Earth, yeah.
He plays the mortal, the human.
Like normally, Russell Crowe doesn't normally do stuff like that. When he was in his heyday, he was like the lead actor.
Right.
You know,
and
this
that was probably a while ago when he played Jor-El. That was what, like 2015 maybe?
Yeah, it was a while ago. It was when
Quite
I
a
worked
while
here.
ago. I mean, he's really kind of dropped off the scene. I don't know if it's because he chose to do it or maybe he did have some problems with the studio. Didn't he like punch people
I think
or
he
something
did.
like
Yeah,
that?
he had a bad attitude.
And so they kind of, I don't know, maybe they don't like him anymore. I would find that hard to believe because I would think, despite hitting people, he would still be a bankable artist.
Oh yeah, very talented actor.
I think what happens is some of the guys, some of the actors, and I'll say mostly men, because I don't know any women that come to mind from this, but that got caught up in the Me Too movement, that have, been
Kind of been phased out, so to speak.
Yeah, if they've been
or phased
abused.
themselves out.
if they've been abusive or incorrect to women, then, you don't see as much of them. And, coincidentally, the two movies that I lent you both have Casey Affleck, who I think is a pretty decent actor.
I think he's an excellent actor. I mean, very talented.
But he got called out by, who's the woman who starred in The Room?
Brie Larson.
Brie Larson, yeah.
And she had to give him the Academy Award when he won because she won the Oscar the year before. So that was, I remember that being a little awkward.
So, I mean, we're not seeing that much since he won the Academy Award. We haven't seen much of Casey Affleck either. He's kind of dropped off. So I think studios didn't want to bankroll him probably because they thought people wouldn't go to the movies
Right.
at a protest.
Right.
I don't know if it's the same with Russell Crowe. I think he just Maybe he just got overexposed for a while.
I think a lot of Casey Affleck too, though, is if you look at a lot of his movies, they're not really big budget movies.
Well, that's true.
True. Gone Baby Gone was great, not a big budget. This I heard was great, not a big budget. Manchester by the Sea, he won Best Actor for, but not a big budget. The only movies I can think of that he really had like a really big budget are the Ocean's movies.
Right.
Because even Good Will Hunting wasn't a huge budget. It ended up being a huge financial success.
And he must have a real small part in that because I don't even really remember him.
Yeah, he's part of the gang, part of, Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, and then him and Cole Hauser. But yeah, he's just not in like everyday movies, where it's going to open number one at the box office. He's just not that. I don't know if it's because he's not interested or
could be
studios aren't interested.
Well, because you would think a guy that won the Academy Award would be marketable. Anybody, doesn't matter.
Not to mention he's Ben Affleck's brother.
Right.
So but
Ben didn't cast him. Ben didn't cast him in Air.
He cast him in Gone Baby Gone.
He did. Yeah.
So, but it's funny you mentioned that about Russell Crowe, because the next movie that's coming out this weekend that you're going to talk about, we were talking about in the car ride home about when the last time Nicolas Cage was in a big movie. I forgot to look. I've had since Sunday, and I completely forgot to look. You should look right now.
All right, so Renfield is opening up this weekend where they're calling it a comedy fantasy horror.
Like even this, though, he's not really the star, though. Isn't it the other guy?
No, that's Nicholas Hoult.
Nicholas Hoult is the star. He plays Renfield.
Do you know who that is, Nicholas Hoult?
Yeah, he was in... He's up and coming right now. He was in a couple bigger movies in the last couple of years.
Let's look up Nicolas Cage. Now, Nicolas Cage, as we know, Nicolas Cage does a lot of he's working constantly.
He does a lot of crap.
He'll do anything.
He will literally do anything.
So probably once a year he comes out with a decent movie. Maybe not a big budget movie, but we were saying, when's the last time he had a big budget movie? This is the movie I was telling you about, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Mm-hmm.
Not big budget, but that's supposed to be pretty decent. Pig, that's supposed to be really good too. But I'm going through. We're not finding. Let's see.
No. You're back to 2019 already. None of those were big budget movies.
Color Out of Space. No, we're not.
So
we're not finding any. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. He was Spider-Man War.
Oh, he was a voice. Oh, it's just a card. Yeah, it's animated.
Yeah, so let's see.
But him actually being the lead in a big budget movie.
Mandy. That's one that Colin, you've seen it. Colin recommends. He's recommended that before. Mandy. Man, we're not finding anything.
I mentioned maybe. What was the one with him and Rose Byrne? Knowing. If that was possibly the last big budget movie that he was the lead in.
Yeah, that's a ways back.
Because that's like 2009.
This one was good. I saw Joe. He has good movies, but not big budget stuff.
Ghost Rider was probably The Spirit of Vengeance. That's probably the last big budget movie.
Yeah.
And that's 2011.
Wow.
That's 12 years ago since he's been the lead in a big budget movie. That's insane.
He's out there. He's out there doing stuff, but he's just not doing the big budget. He's not a big bankable guy.
No. I was looking at some of his highest rated movies up there. Leaving Las Vegas I thought was really good. The Rock I thought was really good. And Face Off I thought were really good. Those were all, Leaving Las Vegas wasn't a big budget movie. But The Rock and Face Off were both big budget movies.
Yeah.
And I thought those were both really good movies.
This is one good. 2009, Bad Lieutenant, Port of Call, New Orleans. You seen that one?
I haven't.
Oh, I recommend that one.
I haven't even seen the first Bad Lieutenant.
We found Knowing, 2009.
Yeah.
Holy
That's
Moses.
what I mean. He's not
a big star.
He's not. He was for a while, but he's definitely not anymore.
Well, would he bring you into the movie theater? If you saw Nicolas Cage, does that make you go like, oh, I got to go? No, you know why? Because he's diluted his name by making so much crap.
The other thing, too, with me is I never really thought he was that good of an actor to begin with.
Yeah?
I don't know. I feel like he always, he acts the same no matter what kind of character.
I guess you're right. I like Nicolas Cage. But he's not one of my favorite actors, and he's not one of the guys I would say is like a really talented actor.
He's not very versatile. I feel like
maybe Keanu Reeves is in that same boat too. I like Keanu Reeves.
I think he's more talented than Keanu Reeves, though.
Yeah.
I don't think Keanu Reeves to me just reads off a piece of paper.
Yeah.
And they just tell him to grunt or whatever at the end of it or something.
I think there's a lot of actors I like, but they're not my favorites.
Right. Yeah. No. I definitely like.
So who's one of my favorites? I lynch you in there. We don't talk about him a lot. Is Ben Foster. Ben Foster's kind of on the ride. Anything he's in, I think he does an excellent job in every movie. He was in that.
He's an Alpha Dog.
Alpha Dog.
He was really good in Alpha Dog.
He was real good.
Did you see The Messenger? The one with Woody Harrelson? Did you like that?
Yeah, I did. He was good in that.
I haven't seen that.
He's good in, let's see, he did one with that guy you don't like, Chris Pine and Jeff Bridges.
Oh, is that a Western?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I don't remember what it's called, but I know what you're talking about.
He and his brother, he and Chris Pine, they're brothers.
Yep.
And they're plotting to rob a bank. And Jeff Bridges is the cop that's trying to like prevent them from continuing to rob banks and stuff. See, it was interesting.
That's probably something I would like. 'Cause I really like Jeff Bridges, and I think Ben Foster's a really good actor. I don't know what it is about Chris Pine. I didn't like This Means War, and I didn't like him as Captain Kirk. You know, and those are really the only two things I've really seen him in. This Means War is like
Hell or High Water. That's the name of the movie.
Okay.
And I really wasn't aware of Chris Pine before that movie, but I liked him in that movie. So.
Yeah, no, I mean, he could be a good actor. Like I said, it's just a small sample that I've had. But I just didn't like either performance. But This Means War is Chris Pine, Tom Hardy, and Reese Witherspoon.
Right.
They're like CIA agents.
Yeah, you were telling me about that. That sounds fun.
And they find out they're dating the same girl, and it's Reese Witherspoon. It's funny, you know. I really like Tom Hardy, but just Chris Pine, I don't know. I didn't care for him. I was gonna say coming up the following weekend, it looks like the big release is Evil Dead Rise, which is going to be released opposite Beau is Afraid with. I want to see that Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, it's got Joaquin Phoenix.
Anything with Joaquin Phoenix, I want to see.
There's a name. There's a name that's going to pull me into the movie no matter what he does. And those are both going to be released on the 21st. So we got stuff coming up.
One thing I have a question is it 2023 or 2024 that Joker 2 comes out?
Joker 2, let's look.
I've been waiting for that movie to come out. Joker came out, 2019?
Joker 2. Oh, yeah, there it is, right there.
Yeah, it's him and Lady Gaga.
Folie à Deux?
Is it 2024?
2024.
Seriously? So we still got like another year and a half.
The sequel to the 2019 film Joker. Wow, I'm really surprised that Joaquin Phoenix would do that.
I mean, I think it's still like 8.4 on IMDb, and he did win an Oscar.
Yeah.
And it made a ton of money.
Yeah.
You know, made like 330-something million just in America. For an R-rated movie, that's probably top 5 domestic of all time.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
I just think of him as kind of like an A-list actor and not somebody that would
do a sequel.
Get involved in a franchise or whatever. But I don't know. Maybe it'll be exciting. Maybe I'll get more exciting as it gets closer.
If I was as big as him and I was going to be in a franchise, that's not a bad one to be in, I don't think.
Right.
You know, because, I mean, we've had this discussion before. You got Jack Nicholson, you got Jared Leto, you got Heath Ledger, and you got Joaquin Phoenix. All 4 Oscar winners. 2 of them won Oscar for playing the Joker.
Right.
I mean, I still think he probably was the best. I know that's hard because Heath Ledger absolutely knocked it out of the park in The Dark Knight. But I don't know. I guess, like, Heath Ledger, I think we had...
What about Cesar Romero? You haven't brought him up.
No, I haven't seen that one. But, like, I was scared of his Joker. Like, I don't want to be stuck on, like, the subway with him. You know, like, Heath Ledger's character, I almost feel like he would be kind of fun. Like, his character just scared the heck out of me.
Oh, I thought maybe they'd put a picture of Cesar Romero as the Joker. Here we go.
little cheesy. All right, so we got to wrap up. So, probably, what do you think? Champions and maybe Renfield?
Yeah, we'll see if we can go see both of these.
We'll be able to review them next week.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. Couple good, two fun movies probably, right? So, all right, that's been our show this week. I'm one of your hosts, Joey Powers.
I'm Don Tretler, and these are the ones you don't want to miss.
Gentlemen, you can't fight in here. This is the war room.
Here's Johnny. Go ahead. Make my day.
Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.